Hi friends, I'm Beth and I'm back with another episode of How I'm Doing It. Today I'm making a breakfast casserole from amandaseasyrecipes.com. Let's get started. First, we start with a 9x13 baking dish. We are to spray the baking dish generously. We are going to brown 1 pound of sausage in the pan first. While the sausage is heating up, we are going to crack open this can of crescent dough. This happens to be Pillsbury in a sheet. If you don't have access to this, you can use any store brand. Also, you can use the crescent rolls that are pre-cut. You just have to mash the seams back together into one sheet. While I'm preparing everything else, I have preheated my oven to 375 degrees. Sizzle, sizzle. Also, the recipe calls for a wooden spoon. I really don't know why it specifies wooden. If you have a silicone one, I don't see where it would make any difference, but anyway, that's what's in the recipe. I will link the recipe below. The recipe also calls for eggs, milk, salt and pepper, cheese. I'm gonna throw in a little bit of the sriracha sauce just because I feel like making it really interesting. So just a little bit, not too much, but you know, if you want to do something like that, add it to your preference level, you know, season to taste, as they say. I added 1 cup of milk. I also added the salt and pepper and a healthy squirt of the sriracha. Whisk until well combined. Okay, so the next step is to put the browned sausage over the crescent roll dough. It also says to drain off any excess fat. I do have the fat saved over here in another dish. You know that a traditional Southern girl is not going to just throw away that fat. I will use it either to stir fry vegetables later, or I may make sausage gravy out of it. I haven't decided yet. In any case, there's a lot of flavor in there and I'm not throwing it away. Now the recipe says we are to pour the egg mixture over the sausage, and it says it is okay if some of the eggs get under the sausage dough around the edges. So we're just gonna try to make this as even as possible. Yeah, that completely covered my dough except for this teeny tiny little corner over here, and that's fine. Now, the recipe calls for shredded cheese sprinkled on top of the mixture we just made. I don't have any shredded cheese, but I do have Land O'Lakes cheese cubes, and that's gonna have to do today. For the sake of completeness, I will say that the recipe called for 2 cups of shredded cheese. I did not measure this. My family likes cheese, so we just go with, you know, this amount here. I feel like I just eyeball it until I decide how much I think my family would like. Now we're gonna set the timer for 40 minutes and bake it uncovered until the beeper goes off. While we're waiting on the casserole to finish in the oven, I decided to bring y'all over here to my computer desk. I wanted to let you know that according to Amanda's recipe, it says that there are 8 servings and 467 calories, according to the author, if you make it according to her recipe and don't jazz it up. Like I said, I didn't measure my cheese, so I really don't know how many calories, probably in that ballpark for this particular recipe, but if you make it according to plan, those are the details. Also, we are having this meal, this casserole, as dinner tonight. Seriously, just because it says breakfast casserole in the recipe, you can actually eat it any time of the day for any meal that you want to, because it's your house and you're cooking it with your food and you get to decide. So In fact, if you wanted to, if there's any leftovers, you could even maybe have it as a midnight snack also. So don't pin yourself in just because something is a breakfast food or a dinner food or whatever. I'm used to eating all kinds of food at all times of the day, just depending on what I want or what's available. And here we are, fresh out of the oven. See, it's even bubbling at the edges. Isn't that so beautiful? It says to let it set 5 minutes before cutting. Look how nice and beautiful that is. Oh, I'm so excited. We are hungry, ready for dinner. And I'm gonna let it at least stop bubbling. Give it maybe 5 minutes like the recipe said, and then we'll cut into it. So it's been about 5 minutes. We no longer have the bubbling around the edges. The recipe gives the calorie count per 8 servings. So I'm gonna cut it in half this way, and then each of those in half to get 8 servings. Okay, so here is 1/8 of the pan, and it looks so good. Here is the crust on the bottom made of the crescents, and then here is the sausage, and then of course on top we've got the brown cheese. So let's see how this tastes. It's really good. I can't taste too much of the sriracha, so that got blended in really nicely. I would recommend, if you're the kind of person that likes to have something on top of your egg dishes, maybe either more sriracha or some ketchup or some salsa. Any of those would be really good here. Yeah, I think my kids are gonna love this. This is really good, and it was easy. I really do appreciate all of y'all who stopped by to see what I've made in the kitchen today. Thank you all for joining me. Let me know if you make this. I will put the recipe in the comments, like I've said, down in the description below. Let me know if you've made any substitutions, what you thought of it, and all of that. So thank you again. I'm Beth, and that's how I'm doing it.